Hi everyone, and welcome to the Icehouse podcast. I'm Briar, the community manager, and today I'm with another Bryar Wilson from Topflite and Kevin Flint from Oasis Engineering. And today we're actually talking about our Leaders Exchange program, which is an alumni program for those that have done our leadership development program. So it's sort of further on from that. We're here to talk all things Alex. And I've got a bunch of questions, looking forward to getting your guys' answers to them. So welcome and thanks for being on the podcast today.
No worries, thank you.
Yeah, good to have you here. So I'll start with you, Briar. Explain to us the business that you work in and your role.
Cool. So I work for a great company called Topflite. So it's a family-owned company based in Oamaru, and we are a manufacturer and wholesaler of bird and small animal feeds, supplying stores throughout New Zealand. Topflite in general, our name and reputation has been built on providing top nutrition and care for pets, with a basis of New Zealand grown seeds wherever possible and high quality products.
Great.
So we base our products around the nature nurtured sort of thing, and pride ourselves on producing a premium range of pet food. So our range now was originally based on aviary bird food, and that's extended now into poultry, wild bird, rat and mice, chinchilla, aquatic gravel, all sorts of things. So cat and dog food, cool. A wide range. So Topflite now employs 25 people and around over 700 customers throughout New Zealand.
Amazing.
So, Animates and Mitre 10 and all those cool places. So independent pet stores. So you might see some wild bird product in the Mitre 10 stores now, which is pretty exciting.
Very cool. And what's your role within the company?
So I've worked at Topflite for around 9 years now. Wow. I was originally employed as an administrator straight out of university. So I was in that role for probably about 4 years, and then I moved into the office manager role. So I've been in that for roughly 5-ish years. So
it must be a pretty good company for you to, stick around for that.
Absolutely. It is. Great people to work for. Great company. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Kevin, with the company you work in and what your role is?
So I'm the general manager of Oasis Engineering. We're a manufacturing company, and we specialize in stainless steel products like valves and couplings and things. So areas that you'll know of in New Zealand, we make the milk vat valves for Fonterra. On the back of tankers, we make what we call Z swivels, which deliver the petrol and the diesel to forecourts. And we also design and manufacture a range of products for overseas in the CNG compressed natural gas world. So we're 80% export, 20% New Zealand. 3 years ago, we were majority purchased by a company called Aluflex from Germany, and they make the fill valves and nozzles that you use to fill your car with petrol. So,
wow, big company covering lots of things. Very cool.
They're big. We're still only 27 people, which is nice. As Briar said, nice family background. Even Aluflex is a family-orientated company, and things have been great. Have been growing year on year on year. COVID threw a bit of a spanner in the works, but we got through it, and looking forward to the future.
Awesome. Whereabouts are you guys based?
In Tauranga.
Nice. Good spot there. That's great. Okay, we'll stay with you, Kevin. What motivated you to do the Leaders Exchange program?
Well, I initially did the LDP program a few years ago, and that was on the back of my boss, who he did the owners program before that. Yeah. And then during lockdown, Joe brought the cohort from that original LDX program together, LDP program, sorry. And that was pretty cool, get to know everybody again. And then when they released the LX program, I thought it'd be a good time to just top up, just learn new skills. Learning is an ever evolving thing that we all should be doing. So it was a good time for me to top up, and that's what I wanted to do. Great
answer. What about you, Briar? What motivated you to do LX?
I guess probably knowing how much I got out of the LDP course. So as I said before, I transitioned between roles. So leadership was a whole new thing for me. And well, I was a few years younger then. So it was, I probably gained a lot of life skills and things like that out of LDP. And when that opportunity came up again, I jumped at it. It was a great way, as Kevin says, to top up that knowledge and just keep the positivity going, really. Yeah,
great. That's awesome. Maybe sum up your experience in a couple sentences around Alex. Briar, you can keep going on that one.
Yeah, for me, it was a big confidence thing. So as I said, I gained that already from the LDP course. However, doing that Alex course again, mine were about 2 years apart, just really hammered that home. And the self-awareness that I had already learned, it just got built on again. So those are probably the main points that I wanted to work on as a leader. So
good refresher.
Yeah, it was. It really just reinforced and made me, open the eyes again and have another look at the big picture.
Yeah, that's great. What about you, Kevin? How do you sum up your experience?
Well, I really enjoy the content, both of the LDP and the LX courses. I think they've got some very good speakers who are very knowledgeable about the particular areas. And they also cover things like resilience was a new thing for me. I mean, I'm a greasy old engineer, so learning to look after yourself and breathing exercises and take care of yourself was something new to me, and I got a lot out of that. And I really enjoyed, as you said, the refresher side of it and topping it up. And sorry, I'm repeating what I said before, but learning is something that we should all be doing all the time.
Yeah,
so
true.
It was good to have another opportunity to get back on and do some more.
Yeah, that's great. Question I'm going to jump to is, what changes did you make within the business since completing LDP and Alex? We'll stick with you, Kevin.
For me, we've all done courses before, but there was something different about the LDP, if I go back to that one. And when I came back from that, it sort of made me realize that leadership and training and developing yourself is something that you should be doing all the time. So what I did initially was I got a few of my direct reports together who wanted to do a course, and we did an online course, an 8-week course together called Ladder of Leadership, it was called. And then since then, I did the same thing with some team leaders, and with the team leaders, we've carried on. I've joined LinkedIn training. So there's every course under the sun on there, and every 2 or 3 weeks or so we get together for an hour and we just pick something that we're all interested in.
What a great idea.
And we just learn together, and it's pretty exhilarating. And it also, being the GM and learning with the team leaders is a great experience.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Being able to bounce off each other and do it together in a way, that's great. What about you, Briar? Anything that you've implemented into the business or changed since completing both LDP and Alex?
I guess we've really tried to tighten up on our processes. Also, my boss Greg has done the owner manager course as well, so he's big on it as well. So that's probably been one of our main things, is getting those things really tightened up and getting everyone on board with that. I was quite lucky as well in between just before I started the Alex, that we implemented a new set of values for Topflite. So getting behind those and really supporting that has that's been a big change for us. And so our whole management team, getting them on, all of us are now on board and pushing that.
Cool. I love hearing about businesses that the owner has done our owner manager program, and then they've gone and put their key leaders on leadership development program or Alex. And just that synergy that comes naturally from obviously getting very similar content and then being on the same buzz. We always hear about people that come off the programs, they go back into their workplaces, they've got this buzz going, and it's nice when you can relate back to someone else in the organisation that's gone through that. So yeah, that's very cool to hear. Second with you, Briar, what about things, any lifestyle changes to be a better leader? Did you make any changes in terms of lifestyle after completing any of the programs?
Well, probably not so much lifestyle, but it's just that self-awareness for me. So currently we're in an open plan office, so there's 6 of us in there, and it can get quite full on. So for me, it's that self-awareness, and whether it's I need to have an afternoon working in a separate space, or I need to just be away from that for a bit, or how am I going to be a better leader coming into that office every day, getting my mindset right. So
and what you need to be able to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. What about you, Kevin, in terms of the lifestyle thing?
The LDP made a big difference to me on lifestyle. Manufacturing, I think it's the industry which traditionally is the second longest hours of any industry. The construction industry is the longest hours.
Wow.
So I sort of realized that you don't have to work 50, 60-hour weeks, and you don't have to work more than your subordinates and other members. You don't have to prove anything, and looking after yourself is very important as well. Which that was a big step for me. My wife would probably say I don't do enough of it, but I stopped working Saturdays. I used to work nearly all Saturdays, and it's not made a big difference. You still manage, still get going. Learned about a lot more about delegation, and you don't have to do it all yourself. So it's that with some other things has made a big difference in my life and my leadership style. I was a manager before I went on the course, and now I'm a leader, or I'm transforming to a leader.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. I think, it's just cool to hear it from different perspectives. People take different things out of it, and that you took a lot from that lifestyle, point of view, stripping things back. I think that's really great to hear. Cool. Next question we've got, and we'll go to you, Briar, is what is one thing 2020 taught you that you're taking into 2021? Obviously, 2020 was a big year for everyone.
I guess for me, it's really don't sweat that small stuff.
Great.
Have a step back and look at the big picture. And one thing I found really interesting after COVID lockdown is the motivation from other staff that they want to be here and be part of it. That was like they were so behind Topflite for that whole time.
Wow.
And it just makes it sink in a bit more of, it is a great place to work. And I think that the big picture stuff and not sweating all those small things.
Yeah, so important. That's great. What about you, Kevin?
I'd 100% reiterate that. Don't sweat the small stuff. And that was again the micromanaging over to the delegation side that I used to be and now becoming. And the other thing was working from home. I heard of people working from home in various industries for years and years and years. Never thought it could happen in manufacturing because you obviously think of people on the shop floor. Yeah. But we've started doing that. We've got 6 engineers here, and they're becoming more productive because they'll spend the day at home and they're able to get into projects and not being interrupted as much. We've got flexible working arrangements now, and people they were happy before, but they seem even happier. Yeah. And interestingly, we're interviewing for a couple more engineers now, and every single one of them has asked about a flexible working policy and do we have it?
Wow, so very interesting.
I think it's going to be the norm of the future.
Yeah, new ways of working has definitely come out of COVID, and kind of sped up things that were already happening, like you said, but definitely sped it up and made it a lot more normal as such. So some big themes coming through, which is cool. Great, lots of gold here. What is one piece of advice you would give an employee who's stepping into a leadership position this year? Kevin, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, and again, it was something I got from the LDP, is that the leadership is all about getting the best out of your people. It doesn't matter, you can't do it all yourself. You're not expected to do it all yourself. And you should judge your performance on the people that you're leading. Yeah. And I see my job now as supporting the team and developing them to be the leaders of the future.
Great. That's great. What a great answer. What about you, Briar?
Yeah, I guess, well, one thing that always stuck with me the whole way through both of the courses is that growth mindset. And as Kevin's saying, being a multiplier, making those people want to be better and do better, rather than perhaps I in the past did some micromanaging myself, and how much more that you can get out of people with that different mindset. My other suggestion would be to use the experience around you. I'm really lucky. There's 4-5 of us in our management team, and with heaps of experience. So chatting about something before going ahead or a situation is always gold for me. And as was, meeting all those people on LDP and LEX that have so much more under their belt than I do.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's amazing how, well, I found anyways, the people above you as such are so happy to help, and download what they have learnt along the way, and whether that's meeting them on LDP, LX, or through your own company, it's great to be able to bounce off different people. I'm going to finish off with a question I missed up before, which was, what are a couple takeaways from the LX program? And maybe it was a connecting with people. I know that, we talk a lot about our cohorts that we meet along the way, or the content itself. And I know we've touched on a few of it, but is there anything you'd like to finish on in terms of a takeaway that really stuck with you through LX? Kevin, would you want to start there?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones for me was your fellow cohorts are all on a similar sort of level. Yeah. So they all have similar experiences, and it's almost refreshing to know that other people have experienced the same things as you and you're not on your own. So that was really, really good. And on my course, there was another guy from Tauranga, and we still catch up every month. Once a month we get together for a coffee, and we're carrying on that, experiences from each other and helping each other out with a different viewpoint or a different mindset. So that's good, and that's 3-4 years down the line. So that's really cool.
Brilliant. I love that. Every program and every podcast I've done, people say, you sort of walk in on that first block sort of going like, oh, how are these people going to relate to my industry or, what I do day to day? But it's amazing how it doesn't matter what industry that they're leading in. There's so many things, challenges, pain points, wins that are so similar to each other. So that's cool. What about you, Briar? Any takeaways?
I think, as I said before, that those main things that stick with me all the time is that growth mindset.
Yeah.
And that I loved that multiplier reading. It was a reading that we did. I think it might have been in the LDP, but it's one that continues to stick with me. And that motivation for people, that encouragement and what that does for them. They're probably the ones that stick with me constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. It's really obvious that you guys have taken a lot out of it, that you guys are great leaders in the businesses that you're in. And so thanks so much for downloading a bit of your guys' learnings and experience. And I'm sure those listening really appreciated it. And so did I. So thanks lots, guys. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, Briar.
Yeah.